see you. Yeah, I was worried about you because they told me, but you were out on the track again, so I said, you all right?
Uhuru.
Uhuru. Power to the people.
Power to the people. Brothers and sisters, I'm very honored to be here with you. It took some effort to get here. I've had the grand tour of Philadelphia. But I was just praying that I would get here before you adjourned. But I was going to come even if you had adjourned because I wanted to be with you. I wanted to be with you, and let me say this at the risk of sounding sentimental and ridiculous. But I want to be with you not just because you're a great organization, not just because of your political line, not just because of your stellar and exemplary chairman, Omali Yashatella. I just want to be with you because I love you and I like you as people. I really do. This is, you know, in a land where black people are not respected.
Yeah.
In a land where black people are oppressed.
Yes.
In a land where black people are bombarded on a daily basis with negative images of ourselves and of our community and of our people. It is wonderful to come to a place where a black man can be respected and feel at home. And I feel at home here with you. I really do. I know I only have a few minutes. I really don't deserve that for not being here yesterday and for being here almost before you adjourned today. But let me just say, a lot has happened to me and to us since the last time that we were together. But I'm glad to be here with you today on August 17th, the birthday of one of the greatest organizers of black people, the Honorable Marcus Garvey. I can remember the first time I saw a picture of Marcus Garvey with that plumed hat on, sitting in the limousine, the parade in Harlem of the UNIA. And although Garvey is gone, the United Negro Improvement Association, the UNIA, remains an example with over 1 million members worldwide. It remains an example for all of us to continue to strive for. And so much has happened. As Brother Omali said, on the 4th of March, I nearly lost my life. I was driving my car and was hit by a stolen car in Newark, New Jersey at the intersection of 18th Street and 15th Avenue. And when the car struck me, I did not lose consciousness. I saw a flash of light as if someone was taking a photograph with a flash bulb. The car that hit me right on the driver's door, right on my door. I was driving the car. They hit my car so hard that their car flipped over and rolled down the street. And those 3 young men that were driving the car couldn't even get out because they were upside down in the street. My car was pushed up onto the sidewalk. And at first I felt like I had been hit on the football field. You know, when you get the wind knocked out of you and you're trying to grasp for air. And I thought in a few minutes it would subside, but it didn't, and I knew something was wrong. And before I knew it, all the police in Newark must have been there, county police, state police, EMT, fire department, they had to cut the roof of my car off. And they had to cut the driver's door off to get me out. And when they got me to the hospital and had examined me, I had 17 of my 24 ribs were broken. My rib cage had been crushed. My hand had been broken. I had fractured vertebrae in my neck, my middle and lower back. I had a blood-filled left lung, had a hematoma on my left lung that they eventually had to operate on to remove. Had a collapsed right lung, a lacerated liver, a punctured spleen, and blood clots in my leg. I went into acute respiratory failure twice. They had to bring me back from death. But I'm here with you today. And I'm here for many reasons. I see my comrade and member of the People's Organization for Progress and one of your activists here in the health field, Lisa Davis. She's here, Sister Lisa. She came to my hospital room almost every day, bringing me water with chlorophyll in it, green water, bringing her magnets and magnetizing me. And in part, I'm here, I think, because of Lisa.
That's a promotion you can use for the health care.
Brothers and sisters, while we struggle to change the world, and while we organize our people, always take time out to appreciate the friends and loved ones you have in your life. Because I have no brothers and no sisters, but those who came to see me. I was in the hospital for an entire month. I was bedridden for 2 months after that. But those who came to see me were more than family to me. I might not be here had they not come. There was such an outpouring in the community that the hospital had to call the radio station and tell people, stop telling people to come to the hospital. The nurses came by and they said, well, who are you? My room was always crowded, all day and all night long. I had to send people home. I was like, y'all got to go home. It got so bad that this one, I thought he was a doctor. He came in, he gave me his card. I looked at his card, he introduced himself. He said, I'm Mr. Gonzalez. I'm the president and CEO of University Hospital in Newark. He said, is everything all right? That's what happens when you're part of an organization. My members are so good to me. I think about Jeffrey Dye. When they released me from the hospital, I couldn't even walk. The fluid, because they had put tubes in me everywhere the tubes could go, and where tubes couldn't go, they made holes so tubes could go. And I had all this fluid that had accumulated from all my internal injuries, so it all went to my feet. My feet looked like 2 giant blimps, and I couldn't walk. Don't you know, the day after I was released, Jeffrey Dye, one of my members, came from Passaic to Montclair where I live and got me out of the house and made me go to the track at the park and made me walk. Right on. Made me walk. He came and made me walk. I couldn't get around the track one time. But today I'm glad to tell you I walk 3 miles every day on my own now. 3 miles. So my strength is coming back. I wanted to be here with you yesterday, but so much has been going on. So many good things and so many bad things. One of the unfortunate things is I have to let you know that the state vice chairwoman of the People's Organization for Progress, I'm sure Brother Victory and Sister Walia met her and knew her. Sister Mary Weaver died suddenly. She died suddenly 2 weeks ago Friday. And brothers and sisters, I don't have any great political treatise for you today, but I do have a note of personal advice. Get your personal affairs in order, because you never know when your time will come. You don't know the day nor the hour, but the order in which you have your personal affairs will determine how easily and how quickly your family can do for you what needs to be done.
Right.
Many of us do not consider our own mortality. We don't think about anything until we get sick, and then we worry. But it really shouldn't be like that. If we can prepare for revolution, we can prepare for our departure from this world and make it easy on our families. Everybody, and I know this is a morbid subject, and it's probably out of line, not even dovetailing with anything that has been said, but I've been through a difficult experience, and I feel I need to share what I have learned from this experience. That is, all of us should make a will. Even if you ain't got nothing to leave behind, make a will. You think you ain't got nothing, wait till you die. You think you won't have anything, just wait. Make a will. And make a will not only for the disposition of your personal property and belongings, but make a will for how you want to leave this world. Because I don't know about you. I don't want anybody to preach my funeral who did not know nothing about me. I want the people to speak at my services. I want my comrades in the struggle to speak for me. The people who spoke for me. We do not have a strong revolutionary culture and tradition in this country. And consequently, many comrades who spend their entire lives in the fight for liberation are sent out in a manner totally incongruent with the way in which they live. Totally incongruent with the way in which they live. Some of them go out buried by people who aren't even of the same religion. Some of them go out buried by families who were not involved in the struggle for which they were involved. I have to speak about this because I'm speaking from my personal experience. Many of us have children. And our children are not in the struggle.
They are not.
Many of us have siblings, brothers and sisters, and they are not in the struggle. And if you do not leave instructions about how you want to depart this world, they will send you out the way they think you should be sent out.
That's right.
I know this is a morbid subject. I know this is not on the agenda. But I said if I don't say anything else, I need to say this today. Our comrade, our state vice chairman, and Secretary General Mary Weaver has left us. And we hope the family will work with us, but the family has the final say in all this. and specific family members, next of kin, become the people to set the disposition of you and your estate. But the way we hope that they will let us send our comrade is this: we will have the funeral services, but if the family permits, we are going to march her hearse down to the graveyard. We are going to march her hearse with the red, black, and green and the flag of our organization. We are going to march her hearse with a banner that says, "Long live the spirit of Mary Weaver." We are going to march her hearse with the banner of her son, who was killed by the East Orange police, which says, "Justice for Randy Weaver." And when we get to the grave site, we're not just going to let them lower her in the grave. We're going to stand and we're going to salute that sister with the Black Power salute for the soldier that she was in the struggle for justice. We have to set a tradition. A revolution needs a revolutionary culture. And what is culture? Culture is the way people live. That's culture. It's the way they bring children into the world. It's the way they bring them into adulthood. It's the way they bury the dead. It's the way they eat. It's the way they sing, the way they live, the way they work. That's culture. And we must create in this country and in our movement a revolutionary culture. See, I believe that there is a black liberation struggle in America. And I believe that we are soldiers and partisans in the fight for black liberation and human liberation. And when our soldiers depart, we need to send our soldiers off as if they were partisans in the great struggle that has been the struggle of our people.
Yes.
So I hope I didn't upset anybody by taking time to talk about this. But none of us will be here forever. And we all must prepare. And we all must prepare so that our organizations and institutions that we create will go on after us. Will go on after us. If we create organizations that die when the leader dies, then we have not done our job. We have to create organizations that live on beyond us.
Yes.
Let me just say quickly in the few minutes that are left, allotted to me. I could not be with you yesterday because we had an impromptu press conference on the issue of police brutality. And I want to thank in P.O.P, the African People's Socialist Party, the Uhuru Movement, and the Burning Spear newspaper for the great coverage that you have given to our events and in general to the struggle against police brutality. You and I know, we all know about what's going on in Ferguson, Missouri. And personally, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a great thing what's going on in Ferguson, Missouri. I think that we need to connect our local struggle against police brutality to what's going on in Ferguson, Missouri, and in Staten Island, New York. So what we did yesterday, we had a press conference to connect our struggle for justice around Abdul Kamal, who was shot and killed by the Irvington police, unarmed, shot 10 times and killed by the Irvington police. We had the mother of Abdul Kamal come out and join us for the press conference to say, I'm fighting for justice for my son, but I'm also fighting for justice for Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri. And we had the father of Earl Faison, with whom you are familiar. Earl Williams was there. And although he can't walk, he's had his leg amputated, and he can't walk, he came out in the wheelchair for the press conference and said, we fought for justice for my son. So I urge everybody to fight for justice for Michael Brown. And we held this press conference to announce a march that we're going to have. On Wednesday, we're going to march from the Essex County Courthouse to the heart of downtown Newark, Broad and Market. We're going to march for justice for Michael Brown in Missouri, Eric Garner in Staten Island, Abdul Kamal in Irvington, New Jersey, and all the victims of police brutality. And those of you that can join us and march with us in Newark, New Jersey, Wednesday, August 20th at 5 o'clock, we're going to meet at the Essex County Courthouse and march from the courthouse to Broad and Market Street. And brothers and sisters, let us fight all the demands for reform that people have. You know, in Ferguson, Missouri, they quelled the struggle, at least temporarily. They shut down the local police department and put a black state trooper over the police in Ferguson. And for a moment, people calmed down. You see how it made that immediate effect? It had to put somebody black. But then what did they do? Folks are so stupid, right? Maybe they just was upset because the black man seemed to calm things down. They turn around and impose a curfew on people, try to impose a state of emergency and a police state instead of using their efforts to try to get justice for Michael Brown. So the people rose up again, and they should continue to rise up until they get justice for Michael Brown. Let Ferguson be a signal to black people and people who want justice all over this country. Let it be a signal. Let it be a flare that goes into the heavens so that everybody all around the country will see what we need to do. This is what we need to do. We need to get back into the streets, and we need to stay in the streets as long as it takes to get justice. In Newark, New Jersey, after all the years that the People's Organization for Progress has been struggling around the issue of police brutality, in Newark, New Jersey, the Justice Department announced that it had done a 3-year study. And what did the Justice Department say? They said that 75% of the stop and frisk in Newark, New Jersey were unconstitutional. And that although black people make up 54% of Newark's population, they were 85% of the stop and frisk. What did the Justice Department say? It said that the Newark Police Department had engaged in the use of excessive force and had abused people's constitutional rights. And on top of it, what did the Justice Department say? It said that the gang unit and the drug unit of the Newark Police Department stole the drugs and the cash of the same people they were arresting in the streets. And what did the Justice Department recommend? That the Newark Police Department be put under a federal monitor. A federal monitor. And more than that, they even recommended something that we've been calling for, and that is civilian oversight. We say more specifically, we want a police review board in Newark, New Jersey with subpoena powers, investigatory powers, and the power to punish police that abuse our people and abuse our constitutional Patton stepped down in the aftermath of Eric Garner, and they're demanding a new police commissioner. And in Ferguson, Ferguson is 2/3 black. 2/3. They got 56 police in the department, only 3 are black. So they put a black man, a state trooper, he ain't even in the local police, they put him in charge. So people are making demands, and we support all the demands for change that people are making. But brothers and sisters, we must understand this, that police brutality is not caused by a few aberrant rogue cops. It is a systemic problem. It arises out of the system of social and economic and political oppression that we live under. Why is it that police brutality persists? New York has a police review board, and they still have police brutality. There are 13 cities in the country that have police review. Why does it persist? It persists because the use of violence against black people has been necessary and condoned since the creation of the United States of America. You cannot have a system of slavery in place without the most extreme force. You cannot steal land and take the land of the indigenous people without the use of extreme force. The use of force against people of color, black people, and the indigenous has been codified in law. It was part of the law. And although it may not be the law anymore, it is so deep in the psychosocial fabric of the United States of America, they don't need a law. They know if they hire these police that they are going to abuse and brutalize black people. And the police brutality will continue. It will continue after we get a police review board in Newark, even though we're fighting for the police review board, because the police are part and parcel of a system of racial control that has existed in this country since African people were first brought here. And the answer does not lie just in the reforms that we are fighting for. The answer lies in revolution, and the revolutionary transformation. I'm trying not to be a bad guest. I'm trying to sit down. I'm trying to sit down.
Peace through revolution.
Yes. But we must fight. This country has moved so far to the right. And you know, people, if you listen to the radio, like I listen to BBC News. I don't even listen to the American news anymore. If there's a progressive radio station like WBAI in New York, I'll listen to that. I'll listen to BBC. BBC is not necessarily progressive, but they give you a broader kind of overview than the U.S., than the American news. And you actually hear people talk about, because, you know, do you know what was on the front page of the New York Times this week? I thought it was a picture from Gaza. It was a picture from Ferguson, Missouri. It was a picture of what I thought was soldiers. They were not soldiers. They were the police, but they were in soldiers' uniform. They were in equipment, in vehicles that were military vehicles. United States of America. And you know, Obama can't go around the world telling people about how they should handle their business when you got tear gas and soldiers in the streets of, where is it? Are we in Kansas? Are we back in St. Louis, Missouri? So you hear on the news them talking about the militarization of the police forces. Brothers and sisters, this is not new. This is not new. The militarization of the police. The militarization of the police in its most contemporary form started in response to our rebellions in the 1960s. Last month, July, was the anniversary of the Newark Rebellion. It was a rebellion. It wasn't a riot. A riot could have been put down in a few hours by the police. A riot involves a small number of people. A rebellion involves a whole people, a whole section of the population. And you can't put it down in a day. No, you can't. You can't put it down in a few days. No. When the 1967 Newark Rebellion happened, the Newark police force was 1,300 strong. They couldn't put it down. They had to call in 700 state troopers. Police and troopers combined couldn't put it down. They had to call in the National Guard. It took the police, the state troopers, the National Guard, and for Governor Hughes to declare martial law to put down the Newark Rebellion. And when the rebellion did subside, did people stop? No. Within martial law, Newark, New Jersey, a Black Power conference was held. 2 weeks later in Detroit, a much larger city, Detroit with thousands of members on its police force, they couldn't put down the Detroit Rebellion. They had to call in thousands of state troopers. The police, the state troopers, couldn't put down the rebellion. Governor Romney, Mitt Romney's father, called in the National Guard. The National Guard, the state police, and the local Detroit police could not put down the Detroit Rebellion. What did they have to get? They had to go to Vietnam and get the 82nd Airborne in Vietnam, bring it back home. And it took the 82nd Airborne, the National Guard, the state troopers, and the police to put down the Detroit Rebellion. We are a revolutionary people, and we are the revolutionary agents in this country. So what happened? You know, capitalism is always trying to function in a more efficient and effective way. They can't send the army to every city. There ain't enough army to send to every city. If every city in America, you know, there were over 1,000 uprisings in the United States between 1960 and 1972. And even when that period was over, we didn't stop rising up. We rose up in Miami, Florida. We rose up in Los Angeles. And we're rising up in Ferguson, Missouri today. And we're going to keep rising up as long as we're oppressed. But they can't send the army. So what did they do? With the election of Nixon in 1968, they formed the LEAA, the Law Enforcement Assistance Administration. And they begin to funnel. This is in a book called No Left Turns that came out in the beginning of the 70s. They begin to funnel millions of dollars to local police forces to beef them up. And then more than that, they begin to create a seamless national police force. See, we look at the police and we say, oh, that's the Philadelphia police. And that's the Newark police. And that's the state. They are one police, brothers and sisters. One police. And what they have been doing since our uprisings in the 70s is integrating their command and control structures more and more and more. They even begin to make each other look like each other. At one point in Newark, they were making the local police cars look like the state police cars. But even beyond that, now you go to Newark, New Jersey, it's not just local police that patrol Newark streets. The sheriff's police are patrolling. The state police are coming into. And you think that this is just for your safety. No, this is preparation. They know, they read the same stuff we know. They might know it better than we know it. They know that people in this country are not going to go for this forever. They are training units of the U.S. Army right now as we speak, preparing them for urban uprisings and maybe even suburban uprisings all across this country. They know what's happening. People are sick and tired of being sick and tired. They're shooting our people down in the street like dogs. They're treating us worse than dogs. Closing our schools, closing our hospitals, closing the factories and sending them overseas, foreclosing on our homes, jailing our young people at a rate that no other country does in the world. The United States has more people in its jails than China. China has 4 times the population. China, Iraq, and Iran don't have as many people in prisons as the United States. And today, in the United States of America, more black people are under the authority of the criminal justice system than were enslaved in the United States in 1860. It's not a Jim Crow, it's a new enslavement. It's a new form of slavery that's going on. But I close with this. They can build their prisons. They can beef up their police. They can create a national police force. They can create more intelligence agencies. They can build a bigger army. But no matter what they do, the people will struggle against oppression. And ultimately, we don't know the day, we don't know the hour, but I guarantee you we will transform this capitalist and imperialist system that we live under. Thank you very much.